The one is the digit 1. Some of the stories you'll find: truck kills woman at Botiano. Other stories: adopt climate resilient strategies to safeguard food production. Zebula MP urges government. Prosecutes DCEs, MCEs, police commanders involved in galamsey. Ashigbe charges galamsey can't be eliminated. Long-term policy approach needed. That's according to the Chinese ambassador. AgriFair Day 1, vendors sell out early as demand surges. Justice Akaba for calls for funding to train judges. Other stories you'll find: NRSA urges government support to sustain billboard removal exercise. And there are photos from the Ifwa Sutherland Park, Day 1 of the AgriFair. UK bars South Africa's Julius Malema over controversial views. And GCAG demands probe into 2 NDC chairpersons over alleged galamsey involvement. In the eastern region, midwife delivers baby on farm in Upper Menya Krobo. Rwanda DRC initial peace agreement ahead of signing next week. In the Ashanti region, the births and deaths registry have resumed services amid ongoing strike. Still in the Ashanti region, in Mamia Makrum, residents allegedly killed 3 suspected robbers after cocoa farmers' murder.
Let me take you to the citynewsroom.com. Big story here. AgriFair second day to offer more farm produce, bigger crowd, and increased vendor sales. And I can 100% assure you on this. Also here, a woman killed by truck at Botiano bus stop. Very, very unfortunate. And I know you saw the video of the UCC accident.
Yes.
And again, you know, our condolences to the family of the bereaved and also those affected. It was just too sad, too gory. In the northern region, the Zebula MP, who was at the AgriFair yesterday, has been demanding tough bylaws to halt rampant environmental damage. Also here, MPP's One Village, One Dam couldn't address irrigation concerns up north. Also from the Zebula MP. In Accra, or in the Ashanti region rather, probe disgraceful teachers viral fight. Kumewu MP to Ghana Education Service. Gold for oil-built reserves but left city stagnant. That's coming in from the Ekumfi MP. Hassan demands urgent talks threatening to cripple health services. ChannelOne TV's AgriFair Day 1, massive turnout empties vendor stalls amid surging demand. Interesting. Don't blame us for galamsey. Chinese ambassador this weekend. Bring finance minister to repeal Dumso levy. Apenyo marking to majority leader. And also here, NIB destroys 350 million cocaine haul intercepted on the Cape Coast Accra route. And do you get a sense that we are hearing a lot of, you know, drug stories, like cocaine stories, you know, illegal money, you know, being busted, you know? It seems to be on a high, right? And I don't know whether it's the new administration and its law enforcement authorities, you know, going very, very far lengths to expose some of these things, or it's always been in the news, but the media hadn't jumped on it. Because like in the past couple of months, or at least since this new government took over, they busted some fake dollars somewhere in Accra and gold. They busted some Indians who were smuggling gold and had lots of foreign currencies. I covered a particular press conference at the Gold Board, at the National Investigations Bureau press conference in Accra. And like so many of such stories, you know, except that when they happen, we don't hear a lot of the aftermath of it, or when investigations are ongoing or have been concluded. So that's something we plead with the law enforcement authorities to help us with more information as investigations go on some of these intercepted, you know, illicit drugs and foreign currency, you know, circulating around. And finally, GNPC reaffirms strategic role in West Africa's energy future. And a story that got a lot of people talking on social media. Popular Accra lounge garage announces closure June 29 after 5-year run. Have you ever been there before?
Never.
Are you surprised by their
I'm surprised
impromptu
they're
exit?
exiting, because I know that it's the place to be. I mean, I had it on the top of my mind to visit one day, but now that they're closing down, I guess I missed out, because I've heard from my friends that it's a place to be. You know, people have been planning to come from the US to come there. So I'm actually shocked that they're shutting down.
You know, proud to Garage becoming like a household name in Accra's nightlife scene. There was also another place known as Bloomba, which was
what
like,
happened to that one too?
they also, you know, closed down unannounced, right? You know, very impromptu. And you know, there's a running joke as to why some of these popular night outs are closing down. You know, maybe later.
Is it what I saw on Twitter?
It's crazy, right? The conversation is crazy, but apparently, you know, people are trying to link it to some kind of, you know, because the big boys go there. You know?
Yeah.
And this week we saw a press release from the Interior Minister announcing that some 4 persons had been arrested and been extradited to the US. You know, for investigations into, you know, scams, you know, fraud-related scams.
Is it $100 million?
Yes, that's what we are being told. You know, and we know some of these guys. We see them in our communities. We see them on social media, flaunt, you know, like a lot of wealth, right? And the talk of the town at the time on social media, you know, at least was that there are some investigations going on by some foreign investigative bodies, you know, in the country, looking out for some of these guys involved in some of these scams, you know, allegedly. And you know, it's like it's almost a lot of these guys, right? They show or they flaunt the world at some of these night out spots. I'm not saying necessarily garage, right? And it's, you know, people are trying to draw the connections between the investigations going on and, you know, some of these night outs.
Some people are even alleging that the FBI probably, you know, joined the owner of garage to open it together just so they can see all these things. I mean, there's so many allegations and counter allegations.
And this is not to even say, let's be clear, this is not to say that people who were into scam were going there. I've not seen any scammer there before. You know,
if you see a scammer, will you see one? Will you notice, or do they have like a trait or something?
You know, there are some people who are very loud on social media, and some of them are even self-acclaimed.
Okay, so they boldly claim that they are scammers.
They are all into the business of this kind of unexplained world, right? So they are doing something, but you don't really know what they are doing. Right. But they seem to have lots of money, and lots of it, I mean, you know, and some of them, you know, go as far as I saw a video on TikTok, somebody saying that, yeah, that's what they do, and so what, you know, so.
His time is coming.
Yeah, so like I'm saying, I didn't see any of them, or I've not been to garage to say I've seen somebody there like that. But I know the conversation on social media is that people are trying to draw the link between investigating bodies, you know, taking on alleged scammers in Ghana, and how popular night out locations are, you know, closing. For him, I know there's no relationship, but for him, I know that might be a relationship. So we are here to report on this. But people are sad because they had lots of fun there. They had lots of memories there. And I'm sure they'll miss it.
I hope they took a lot of pictures. They can look back on it and then be happy about it. But I'm on graphiconline.com. So the stories you'll find there. Mike Egan deserved the national honor. Former President Kufuor says so. And there's a video of GTech on the misleading use of honorary, doctor, and professor titles. More than 3 billion Ghana cedis injected into Ghana's economy through Gold Board in 4 months. That's according to Kwachio Fosu. PA Conference 2025 launched to champion cross-border growth. FDA approves powerful HIV prevention drug. What to know about years to go. Police arrest man at Nkrakan for concealing suspected Indian hemp in maize. Oh, they're getting creative. This is how much President Mahama's administration saved by discontinuing all paid TV subscriptions at Jubilee House. Gumwa East MP accuses GTech of targeting NDC members over honorary doctorate titles. Justice Akaba for Appointments Committee explains why it dismissed petition against Supreme Court nominee. First National Bank receives $35 million capital injection. Reintegrate children in galamsey-prone communities into schools, panelists urge. Appointments Committee vets Justice Kweku Teria Akaba for.
And that was graphiconline.com.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting you mentioned the story about how much government saved from the, satellite subscriptions, TV subscriptions. Apparently, the figure was 120,000. And people are raising eyebrows, and 120,000 a month. So if you compute it for a year, that's in excess of 1.2 or 1.4 million Ghana cedis to watch, Teletubbies, can it be, some way. So, yeah, but of course, there are some offices that need to watch some of these foreign channels on DSTV and all of that.
Especially the press office.
But you can make an exception for them. But a lot of these offices didn't really need it. And, 120 Ghana cedis, I think that money can be used to, like, a special fund could say, we are going to use that money to invest in furniture for schools, right, where children are sitting on the floor. There's obviously a more productive use of that money. And the truth of the matter is that a lot of the offices where these DSTV subscriptions were being paid don't even watch the channel. They don't even have the time to watch it. So why are you paying that kind of money? So kudos President Mahama, kudos Prof. Jane and this administration for this bold decision to cut TV subscriptions. Hopefully they replicate it at other state institutions and we can use the money for more productive, sectors of the economy.
Do you have another portal opened?
I have the News Center.
Okay.
The News Center online portal being run by their chief editor, Elvis Darkum. Just brief headlines here. Woman unexpectedly gives birth in toilet, but the baby dies. Very, very sad story. Don't blame Chinese nationals for galamsey. That's coming from the Chinese ambassador to Ghana. Gore records 84.7 million profit after tax in 2024. Republic Bank to train SLCB staff under landmark MOU. Mother and 3 children die in road accidents. Very tragic. And finally here, or 2 more here, Israel-Iran war. First Ghanaians evacuated to Turkey. And Ghana Armed Forces to enlist 12,000 youth over the next 4 years. And these are the big stories on the Ghana News Agency. The News Center online portal.
I have the Ghana News Agency. Some of the stories you'll find. China does not condone illegal activities of its citizens. That's according to the ambassador. China reaffirms One China principle, lauds Ghana's enduring support. Other stories you'll find, take responsibility seriously, Council of State Chairman urges MMDCEs. EC rejects accusations of breaching procurement process. 4 public officials charged with corruption over seized rice containers. BOG collaborations with research institutions could fix monetary policy. Professor Yusuf says so. Cape 3 Point community besieged by illegal mining activities. Integrating STEM into TVET key to Ghana's economic transformation. Minister urges MMDCEs to eschew tendencies of being armchair politicians. Those are the stories you'll find on Ghana News Agency.
Let me just bring you some details of this story, right? So Justice Kweku
Wait, before you go into the stories, let me do GhanaWeekend.com quickly. ChannelOne TV's AgriFair at Ifwa Sutherland Children's Park. There are pictures there. Popular Accra Lounge Garage to close June 29 after 5-year run. Back like I never left, Deborah Dablas speaks after 45-day jail term. John DeMello graces ChannelOne TV's AgriFair, touts initiative as laudable. I'm a happy Ghanaian. Samini commends Mahama judiciary on justice efforts. Make good music, don't chase hits. Amarado to fellow musicians. Let's support rapper V12 originator Code Mickey urges Ghanaians. Brother Philemon hints at comeback to Ghana's gospel music scene. Hollywood star Jussie Smollett was in Ghana. I wish I had signed Simi and Tenny. That's according to Don Jazzy. Pella Jarvis relationship hits rough patch as both trade accusations online. Mahama names Anthony Joshua boxing ambassador for Africa. And my money is clean. That's according to Shatawale. And he's denying fraud.
Who has asked him a question?
Fraud links
Charles
following associates. When he came live and started making noise.
Charles Lee Ama, what is it Mensa or table?
You're talking
Please, who has asked you a question? We beg you.
Both 2 others arrested in a $100 million fraud scheme.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
I don't
bring us the story.
You probably have been up close with him, with that documentary you did.
Akaba.
Yeah, for the judiciary, right?
Yes.
Yesterday he was in Parliament. His vetting delayed because there was a petition against him. The chairman of the Appointments Committee, Bernard Ahiafo, yesterday before his vetting dismissed the petition and said that it didn't have any substance for which reason to prevent the nominee from being vetted.
And your called it frivolous petition.
Exactly. Also came in and said that, Charlie, waiting him, there's no substance in it. A lot of people have vouched for his integrity, all the time he's been at the appeals court. And he's also admired for his deep legal intellect and his, he's seen as like some modern, techie judge be some way, always talking about technology and the use of it to revolutionize or, change the judiciary. And yesterday was at the vetting committee. He also talked about misconduct, and this story by citynewsroom.com, Justice Akaba proposes regulations to clarify misconduct in the judiciary. This is topical because of Article 146 and the CJ removal process. So, excerpts of the story read, Supreme Court Judge nominee Justice Kwekuteria Akaba has called for a clearer legal definition of stated misbehavior in the context of Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution, suggesting that it is time for Ghana to develop regulations that would provide clarity on the grounds for removing judges from office. He made a proposal on Friday, July 20th, during his vetting by Parliament's Appointments Committee, where the question of judicial accountability and constitutional interpretation came up for scrutiny. Responding to the direct question on whether stated misbehavior under Article 146 should be defined, Justice Akaba said, I think at this stage, at this moment, Article 146 has become a topical issue. Maybe it's high time you have a CI or regulation so some of these things can be properly defined and everybody will know the parameters of what these are. So these are the thoughts on Justice Akaba. Of course, he went on to talk about the use of AI for AI literacy for the judiciary, calling on members of the bench to embrace it and use it in a responsible manner. Also called for guidelines to to safeguard the use of it. He said child marriage is a no-no. He also called for the expansion of legal education, not just to increase number, but also to meet standards. I think that was a vote. And I think the highlight from one of the very interesting bits of his vetting was when he was asked to recite the national pledge. He was honest enough to say that he can't recite it, even though he knew some of the key phrases and key words in it. But he made a very brilliant point at the end because it was under the context of civic education, civic responsibility, and the likes. And he said that
patriotism is not defined by someone's ability to recite the national pledge.
Exactly.
Yeah. We recite it all the time, but what does it mean to you as a Ghanaian? And are you actually...
Can you recite the national pledge?
I don't remember how we started.
I promise on my honor.
Okay, I promise on my honor.
To be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. I pledge myself to the service of Ghana with all my strength and with all my heart. I promise to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and thought of our fathers. And I pledge myself with all things to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me God. I'm sure I missed the line somewhere, but
I don't know.
Probably be
I think
over 10.
You mentioned
so
you recited it well.
But the point is that some people who were even betting couldn't recite it. But I like the point he said that that is not how to determine someone's love or patriotic qualities, and that it should go beyond just being able to recite the national pledge or sing the national anthem. Even though I think, for a judge, it's important you know it, at the very least.
He didn't say he didn't know it. He says he knows it, but he cannot recite it. Two different things.
That means you don't know it.
You know it.
If you know it, recite it.
No. Like you said, it does not. Just reciting a pledge does not mean that you're unpatriotic. If you cannot recite it,
it's a good look. It's a good look to be able to just.
Half of the time when you're in school and everybody's reciting it, someone is saying something else, someone is saying something else. So
but I was so impressed with.
I was also impressed with him
how he wanted.
And I like the fact that he called for the jury duty to be expanded. In other jurisdictions, it encompasses everybody who's, I think, 21 years and above, sound mind, etc., etc. And I think that Ghana Ghana, we should do that so that the jurors will not hold us to ransom and come and tell us that you haven't been paid and so we won't go to court.
Can you imagine
criminal cases are taking forever?
Can you imagine appearing before okay, so the jury pool.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the age.
No. The jury pool. No, not the age. The jury
pool the age
should
that
be
be some way.
expanded.
Imagine appearing before a Gen Z judge. Hey!
But have you been to a Gen Z doctor? I actually like them. They're interesting to talk to. Some of the things that you don't expect to come out of their mouth.
I'll listen to a Gen Z doctor prescribe stuff for me, right? I'll probably go under the knife if the person is a surgeon and has met all the qualifications. But I'll think about it deeply. I'll think about it very deeply before I go. But I'll listen to the person because I think I'll be able to relate with a Gen Z doctor more, even though I'm not Gen Z. Let me put on record. But a Gen Z judge, they'll tell you that, Charlie, your case is on I'm going.
It's on what?
It's on period. No, watch your face and tell you that. Oh, you this man, you will do jail. So the 21 years there, I mean, even come up, but please, we don't want Gen Z judges. But altogether, brilliant vetting across board,
all seven of them.
Yeah,
all seven of them. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So that's our news review segment for you. And when we return, we have one of our favorite segments on the show, What's Happening? Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Imagine a place where technology and compassion meet. A sanctuary of health, precision, and trust. At Olive Health Diagnostics and Imaging, we redefine excellence. From advanced ultrasound, X-ray, and CT scan services to accurate laboratory, cardiology, and dentistry, our mission is clear: to provide the care you deserve with accuracy, precision, and speed. Your trusted healthcare partner, Olive Health Diagnostics, always ready whenever you need us. Olive Health Diagnostics and Imaging, redefining excellence in medical diagnostics.
So much love in the air.
What are we looking at?
Thank you guys for joining us for this unforgettable night.
Paw Patrol is on a roll.
It's Max Verstappen in the lead.
The megastar is here.
Absolutely sensational.
Let's go!
Just taking a trip down memory lane.
Get unbelievable entertainment that is unbelievably easy to own. Get and stay connected to DSTV.
When the stars come out, Ghana Weekend turns up the lights. From the hottest red carpet moments to the wildest after parties. And for all your celebrations, anniversaries, and unforgettable moments, if it's happening, we're there. First, fast, and fabulously. The front row pass to Ghana's A-list lifestyle is just a click or a channel away. GhanaWeekend.com and Ghana Weekend TV, where fame meets the fans. Promote your next big event with us, because when you party with the stars, the whole nation of black stars should know. Visit GhanaWeekend.com, watch and subscribe to Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube. Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle at GhanaWeekend.com, on X at Ghana Weekend, on TikTok, Ghana Weekend, and on Facebook at Ghana Weekend. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, all access, all glam, all yours.
asilweli ukunqoba kuphela kepha silwela ukwakha isizwe esinohlonze. Sekunjalo.
Welcome back to Breakfast Daily Weekend right here on Channel One TV. Just gone by the news review